Oh shit, I'm live. Hi, my loves. It's Destined Choice. Ew, don't y'all see my dirty ass kitchen? Ew. And it's Destined Choice, and you're watching Choice TV. And I'm live again. I don't have my ring light, but I wanted to get straight to the point, read some of y'all comments, and of course, discuss a lot of things. First things first, can y'all hear me clearly? Because I have a lot of things to discuss. First of all, did y'all see the whole Tabitha Brown situation? First things first, can y'all let me know if y'all can hear me clearly? Can you guys hear me clearly? Is it echoey? Because if not, I can go in my dusty ass Airbnb bedroom. Okay. Yes. So let me get straight to the point. So as you guys saw in the title, I'm going to be talking about a plethora of things. I'm going to be talking about the Tabitha Brown situation, more about the Diddy stuff, the Tory Lane stuff. Come to find out, Tory Lane's released and launched a whole website where he released more data, making it very clear that he was wrongly fucking convicted. And listen, I get it, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, people always ask me, like, who do I think? What happened with Meg? What happened with this? Listen, I tried making a video a long time ago, and I got dragged to filter for that. Looking back, I think at this point, who shot Meg? I think I shot Meg. I think that's who shot Meg. I think that's who did it. You know what I mean? Because I don't even give a fuck about the case anymore. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of hearing about Tory trying to prove his innocence, trying to submit for a retrial. Megan playing the victim, saying she's trying to file for a restraining order. And it's like, look, don't take it personal, Meg, but nobody's about to come for your big ass. And then on top of that, you got security. No one's coming for you, Meg. Let's be real. Like, a restraining order is a little crazy. Let's just be honest with you. And to be honest with you, even like the whole love triangle thing, finding out that Kelsey was smashing Tory, and then, it's just what like this shit got my head spinning. So yes, for those of y'all who didn't know, you can save this. I did it. I shot the bitch. No, no, no. Okay, whoa, whoa. Okay, let me stop because I can't edit this shit. I can't edit this shit. I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. But let me read some of y'all comments. And oh my god, even my house is upset that I said that shit. You see that light flickering? Anyways, okay. So you said choice. I thought you were behind the YouTube page called Honest. Okay, so no, I'm actually not behind the page called Honest. Honest is actually a commentary YouTube channel for those of y'all who are wondering what this person is talking about. I'm not behind that page at all. That person actually used to comment under my videos and show love and try to like, bicker and go back and forth about my opinions about stuff. But no, I'm not behind that page at all. I don't really watch that channel anymore because their videos just don't really bring much interest to me. Nothing personal, but I don't. So let me just play the Tabitha Brown stuff really quickly. So first things first, a lot of people asking me, what is Tabitha Brown? What does she do? So Tabitha Brown is the little vegan lady. I'm sure y'all know Tabitha Brown. She's the little vegan lady that went viral for making like vegan oxtail and vegan lasagna, and I think she made like vegan king crab legs or some shit like that. A whole bunch of shit that we never asked to be vegan, right? And she was one of the first TikTokers that I ever watched that made like fun, like little lifestyle videos, fun videos about like being vegan, changing her life around. She used to be an actor out here in LA. Like she was acting, doing her thing. And then long story short, she ended up reflipping her brand and she ended up becoming a really established like YouTube content creator and a businesswoman. Like this girl was out here selling like seasonings with McCormick. She made like vegan trail mix and all types of shit. But long story short, she's getting backlash on TikTok because as y'all know, y'all heard about the whole like DEI situation where basically a lot of people are boycotting Target. Basically, a lot of people are boycotting Target because Target no longer wants to do diversity training. And to be honest with you, I think diversity training can be very lucrative and beneficial. Because if y'all didn't know, I had a situation where I was actually harassed and followed around at a Rouse, which is a grocery store in America that's owned by Kroger's. So I don't support anything Kroger's or Rouse because I was literally fucking racially profiled. Like I'm talking about like before I even got a chance to even start shopping. I'm talking about like people were like watching me. I was being eyed throughout the store. I walked out the store, and even like one of the fucking customer service reps, he followed me out the store. He was pretending like he was fixing cars, and he was like looking at me to see if I was gonna run back inside and do some shit. It was a terrible situation. I never gave y'all an update about that, but basically the security guard that started shit that walked up to me and was like, "What's in your bag? What do you have in your bag?" If you don't know what video I'm talking about, just literally go on my YouTube channel. I made a whole video about being racially profiled. Basically, I recorded the security officer. I held him accountable. I tagged Ralph's and everything. And people were a lot of y'all who work for Kroger's were reaching out to me. Y'all were telling me, Choice, because of your video, a lot of us are doing diversity training. So that shit does come in handy and it is beneficial. So it's not a joke when somebody says we're cutting back on diversity training. So when people say things like, oh, it's not that deep, it's not this, it's not that, it is that deep. because when there's no diversity training, a lot of times people sometimes are conditioned to treat people of color a certain way. Like if they see somebody wearing a hijab or they see a Black person walking in, they just automatically will think certain things, or they'll have social bias based on hiring them. There's a lot that goes into diversity training and inclusion training. You know what I mean? So essentially, Tabitha Brown basically said this.
Y'all all right? I know. It has been a tough week, right? And maybe it's been a tough 2025 and we are still in January. But I know many of you are asking and have asked and sent me messages about the recent DEI announcements at Target as well. And as disheartening as it is for me, I'm not the only one affected by this, right? It's for everyone who is a woman-owned business, minority-owned businesses, Black-owned businesses. It's for so many of us who work so very hard to be placed into retail, to finally be seen and approved for retail, because contrary to whatever the world might tell you,
She has products in Target
for Black-owned businesses to hit shelves, right? Which is why it's such a big deal when we do finally land inside of retail. So it is definitely heartbreaking to feel unsupported, right? However, I am in business in multiple ways, with Target, with Walmart, and Amazon, right? I sell Donna's Recipe, my hair care products, right, are on Amazon. They're also in Target. And of course, I have a huge partnership with Target. I sell my seasonings at Walmart. I do business all over, just like many other people. And what I can tell you is, if we all decide to boycott and be like, no, we're not spending no money in these organizations. Listen, I get it. And if that's how you feel, honey, I 1000% get it. But so many of us will be affected, and our sales will drop. Our business will be hurt. And if any of you know business, it doesn't just happen overnight where you can just go take all your stuff and pull it off the shelves. There's a process, and then you gotta, like, where you gonna put it? You gotta have a place to store it.
Oh, no, there's
That's
more
money, right? You gotta have another place to sell it, which is almost impossible sometimes. And even if you sell online, it's a process when it comes to business. And everyone does not have the funds or the means or the availability, the space.
Oh my God, bitch, we get
to house their own products, right? But the thing that concerns me the most, and I want you to hear me and hear me well.
Let me stop before she put a curse on me like she did one day.
To stop supporting said businesses and say, I can't buy nothing from there. Even the businesses who were affected by the DEI ban, right? What that does is you take all our sales and they dwindle down. And then those companies get to say, oh, your products are not performing. And they can remove them from the shelves and then put their preferred businesses on the shelves. And then what happens to all the businesses who've worked so hard to get where they are?
Okay, so y'all get it, right?
What happens, right? Now, I know that something that could solve it is ownership of these big corporations, right? It's a long way to go there. There are amazing companies like the Village Market in Atlanta, right, who support small businesses, and you can go in there and there's some amazing things that you can buy, but it's one store and it's very small. We're talking about mass market. You can't build that overnight. Do we all sometimes have these big dreams and aspirations to do that? Absolutely, right? But it is easier said than done, but it's not impossible. But until then, and in order to get there, we unfortunately have to play the game. And in playing that game, we got to be smarter than the ones who think they're in control. Okay? And I say that to say, don't allow trying to be mindful with how I say this, because I want God to give me the right words, but don't allow foolishness to take us into separation and weed us out. Do you understand? Because sometimes that's what they want. And in times like this, they're telling us that. Okay? So as frustrating as listen, as frustrating as the whole situation is, as frustrated as I am, as all of you are, we still got to be smart. Now, you can still go into those stores if you choose to and buy specific brands that you want to support and let the other things, right, not get your money. But be very specific. There's so many women, right, that have worked hard to be a
Oh my
woman.
God, shut the fuck. Oh my God, my arm getting tired and shit. Okay, y'all get the point. So basically, Tabitha Brown, the woman that y'all just saw, for those of you who are just coming in, is a popular TikToker who's known for making vegan crab legs, vegan oxtail, what is it, vegan curry chicken, and all types of shit like that, right? And basically, she's mad because a lot of her products aren't selling like they once were because a lot of Black people have decided to stop supporting Target in America. So due to that, a lot of businesses like hers are struggling because, again, she made it clear that when you are a business and your main demographic is someone that looks like you, and that demographic no longer wants to support that grocery store, they're going to remove her off the shelves. They're going to look at their stats and they're going to say, you know what, bitch, your products aren't performing. We don't know why. Looks like your demographic ain't coming through, and we're taking your seasonings off the shelf. We're taking your vegan crab legs off the shelf. We're taking your vegan sweet potato pie off the shelf. We're taking your vegan seasoning salt off the shelf, and we're taking your vegan curry chicken, your vegan lamb chops off the shelf. So that's what they're doing. So because people aren't buying her vegan lamb chops and her vegan crab legs, she's upset and frustrated. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of get it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I understand. Because imagine if you pour your heart and soul into a brand, the demographic that looks like you is the main people that buy your shit. And now they don't want to even support Target. And Target was where your bread and butter was. That's where your corporate, you know what I mean? Like let's be real. Like, a lot of white folks do support Tabitha Brown, but a lot of them don't. So due to that, she's pissed and she's telling people to stop feeding into foolishness and start supporting her products again. So she kept saying things such as me and I and me and I. Whenever I hear somebody vent about something and I hear them go me and I a lot, that's usually when you start to kind of lose me a little bit. Because if you're saying me and I think you just kind of care about yourself at that point. You know what I mean? And if you can't even care about if you can't look at the bigger picture, then I don't even care. So essentially, she's telling people, stop being stupid and let's think of another way to hold Target accountable instead of outright boycotting them. And to be honest with you, would she feel this way if this was Trader Joe's and her products weren't in Trader Joe's? Would she feel this way if her products? Would she feel this way about Publix businesses if this wasn't Publix? Would she feel this way if this was Whole Foods? If people refuse to support Whole Foods because her products, I don't think they're in Whole Foods. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think her products are in Whole Foods. Would she feel a way about that? So it seems like now that her bag is being affected because of a social media trend, she gets very upset. So that's why I kind of said to myself, Tabitha Brown, shut up. I don't want to go too hard on her because, again, there's been rumors for years. This is just some dumb, petty rumor. People believe that Tabitha Brown put some type of hex on Wendy Williams because after Wendy Williams covered a horrendous scandal she was involved in with her husband, out of nowhere, Wendy Williams' life started to crumble. And there's been rumors about Tabitha Brown being a witch for years. But then again, it's just speculation and rumors. What we need to talk about is the fact that she's only mad because her bag is being affected. So when rich people get affected, all of a sudden they care about the cause all of a sudden. And honestly, I'm gonna put it this way: if she's mad about her products not being purchased at Target anymore, why don't you just put them shits on your fucking website and have people to buy? Like, just let people buy them on your website. Or if you have a problem with not supporting Target no more, why tell people to play the game? Why not just tell people to just buy it on my website? You know, Target is not doing too well for me right now. There's just a different way she could have done this, but I get it because the bitch got bills to pay. Like, how else is she gonna keep the lights on? You know what I mean? So that's my perspective on that. I'm gonna go on the next subject really quickly. So someone said, "Hi, Troy. I think it's time for her to pivot her business." I think so as well, because hearing her say that she's tired of the foolishness. My bad. Hold on. Hearing that she's tired of the foolishness, it just makes her seem very tone deaf. Like she just doesn't give a fuck about the fact that people are pissed off about diversity training. She probably has never been followed around in a grocery store before, or she's probably never been in a situation where she's had to work at a Target or work at a grocery store. And you have to use like your middle name because you're too scared of people thinking that your first name is too black. You know what I mean? Like y'all ever been at that point in your life where when you were young, you didn't want your name to sound too black or too Hispanic, so you had to put that you were white on your application? Because I've been there, right? I've had to put when I was younger white on my application. Like, yes, I'm white. I'm white. I hate to say that, but that's just the truth. When you apply for jobs, try putting that you're white on your application. I bet you get like 10 callbacks. I bet you get like 10 callbacks. And it sucks to have to even say that because some of y'all would be like, well, why would I want to, bitch? Like, sometimes you just gotta, so yeah, I'm white as far as I know. And then, y'all can hire me and then y'all can see that my skills speak for itself. Sometimes this is what you have to do. I don't know if any of y'all have ever done that, but I've done that. When I was younger, I've had to kind of like do that. I don't know. Have y'all done that? Maybe I'm bugging. She clearly isn't experiencing the problem we are experiencing because she's successful. It's like she forgot that other people aren't as successful as she is financially. So somebody said, I'm not putting that. I always get hired when I want to work. Oh, good for you. Okay. That works out for some people. Again, it just really depends on the city and the state that you live in. But if you live in a city, or if you ever lived in a small city where it's not that progressive, if you ever lived in a small city where it's not that progressive, or it's dominated by a certain demographic, i.e. people who speak Spanish, or if your name sounds a little bit too black and they don't want to take a chance on you, sometimes you might want to, play the game a little bit, make a little twist and turn on your application and put that you're white. Or I just put prefer not to answer. You know what I mean? Like if they be like, what's your race? Bitch, none of your business. That's my race. The human race. I've done that plenty of times. That I'm telling you, that's just a thing that people have just done. My husband put that down. He was white on a job application. They hired him over the phone. He didn't even come in for an interview. Is that right? But it's the sad truth. It happens. So I'm gonna start reading some of y'all comments later, but let me get on and pivot to the next topic. So somebody said rich people forget that a 9-to-5 worker is what makes them rich. And if we don't spend, you don't gain. Absolutely. If we don't spend, they don't simply gain. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So when it comes down to Tabitha Brown being upset about the diversity training and people mad at Target and holding Target accountable, she's making it about herself. Her mindset is, well, my business is suffering because y'all want to be different. You know what that reminds me of? Let me give y'all a nice refresher. So y'all remember when I made a video about the whole pyramid schemes a couple years ago? Because if y'all didn't know, listen, okay, oh my God, a hell of people are in here. I'm about to be embarrassed all over again. So let me give y'all a little bit of tea about me. So I was in a fucking pyramid scheme, right? I know. If you've been watching me long enough, you remember. So basically, there was a point in time where there was this company called TLC. They were selling like things like NutriBurst, and they were selling things. Thank you for super chat. Let me see. So you said can't wait for your documentary about Justin Bieber. He looks strung out. Yeah, Justin Bieber doesn't look too good. He's not aging too well. I know he has other illnesses, but we'll get back to that later. So basically, I was in a pyramid scheme without realizing it, right? And I was selling this thing called NutriBurst and TLC. You know those, like y'all know fucking pyramid schemes. For those of y'all who grew up in the 90s, you remember when people used to have those Tupperware parties where they would sell Tupperware? Tupperware is like a plasticware, and people used to sell them, and they would go door to door and be like, "Hey, I'm selling Tupperware. Would you want some?" Or they would go door to door and be like, "Hey, I'm selling solar panels. Would you want some?" Or, "Hey, I'm selling some knives. Do you want some?" Like, vector knives and shit like that. So I was involved in one of those things because I thought I needed some extra money for some reason. And when you're young and you're still trying to figure out your finances, you don't mind just saying, fuck it, let me just try this out. So basically, I was in this period. Hold on, let me show you. This is what it was. TLC MLM. I was in an MLM. That's the better name for it, right? And I was selling like these little products, like IASO teas, and let me see, let me show you. IASO tea, milkshake that help you lose weight, and they work. You know what I mean? Like I was, you kidding me? Like I was in that fucking bathroom every freaking couple of hours, right? And they work. So I was selling them, and I was just like, okay, you guys use my code and whatnot and whatnot. And the person that recruited me, she kind of like fed me bullshit to kind of like manipulate me. So basically, the person that recruited me, she had said to me, she was like, yeah, Choice, it's not like I just make money and, that's it. Like, you make money too. And, I know that you got that YouTube thing going on. Like, I see your YouTube starting to pick up. Choice, maybe you can also recruit people. Like, you can also use your YouTube followers and you can bring people on your team and you could be their coach. Because right now, I'm your coach. I recruited you. So since I recruited you and I just recruited my other friend, you can also start your own thing and recruit 2 other people. And if they recruit 2 other people and they recruit 2 other people, you just go further and further up in the chain. And then eventually you just make mad money off of everybody. You get that residual income. So she kind of framed it in a way where I didn't really fully understand the gist of it. She should have told me your ass isn't going to make shit until you actually like recruit people. Like I was like selling these fucking products for this fucking major company just for me to get like a fucking 5 to 8% commission. Meanwhile, the shit costs like what, like $80, $80 tea. Are you fucking kidding me? People are literally fucking buying $80 teas from like Herbalife, right? Herbalife is another popular bullshit one. Vector knives, right? Them knives be like $150, right? You're selling these knives, these milkshakes, these protein shakes just for them to literally make a killing, and you're only making like 5% of the profit. But if you recruit somebody underneath you and another person underneath you, you got your 2 legs and you're up here, then you can make money off of their sales. So you go from making 5% off of the things that you sell with your coupon code to the 5 to 8% that they also make as well. And then if they recruit people and they recruit people, you go higher up in the chain. You see where it's going here? So I got played and I got bullshit into being in a fucking pyramid scheme. And I went in. I did a whole story time about this and everything. I called that bitch. I cussed her out. I'm like, am I in a fucking pyramid scheme? You got me fucked up. This is some bullshit. Like, I went off. And I'm not going to lie. Like, I've changed a lot. Like, I probably wouldn't have gone off like I did back then, but I did go off on her. I was very upset. And she was like, no, you're not. Just chill out. Okay, Trace, maybe you're just like feeling away because you're not selling enough. You know how much you want to sell? And I was like, no, it's all good. Don't worry, okay? Like, I'm going to just worry about prioritizing myself, and that's it. Like, I don't want to be any involved in this fucking tea shit. Like, I'm good, right? So what had happened was I ended up doing a whole expose video, and I remember I ended up talking about the person that was like at the top of the pyramid. Her name was Stormy, right? Y'all remember Stormy? Stormy Wellington. I remember during the Blackout Tuesday. I remember when we had Blackout Tuesday where people were posting those dumbass black squares to like be in solidarity with the cause. That was the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Who the fuck thought of that stuff? But y'all remember when people were posting black squares? Well, Stormy Wellington was a girl who was in the fucking pyramid scheme that I was in, that I left after 1 week. I kid you not, I left after a week, right? And I remember she went viral because she was mad because instead of people who she recruited underneath her selling and promoting teas and shit and promoting milkshakes and shit, they instead decided to participate in Blackout Tuesday. And basically, she went the fuck off on everybody. And this is what she said.
Today is a prime example of being tricked out your spot. You silenced yourself. Therefore, no one saw your business. You probably lost 50, 60, 70% of your sales today. So busy trying to be a follower. Your business today suffered. I know it did, because my business today suffered, okay? We stand for social justice. We stand for equality. We stand to eradicate racism. I do not stand to lose my business. I do not stand for my sales to be declined. I do not stand to fall short of my goals. So y'all could play, but tomorrow I ain't playing. Tomorrow I go even harder. Now I got to make up for the $100,000 I lost today while y'all want to black out. You know what? I'm back in. I'm done with the blackout. Tomorrow, I goes harder. No holds barred. I ain't holding back. I don't even want to go to sleep today because I feel like I got to make it for the 24 hours that I lost today. So y'all could be asleep if y'all want. and let these people play on y'all intelligence and fuck up y'all business and decline y'all numbers. And now y'all got to try to figure out how to make it for one day. Do y'all know corporation could go out of business for one day of a decline? Y'all sleep. I'm woke.
Yeah. So long story short, she don't work for that company anymore. Now that we fast forward 5 years later, right? Oh my God. 5 years later, she no longer works for that company anymore. She was upset because he participated in Blackout Tuesday and all types of shit, saying, "Oh my God, like, it's for the cause, 2020, George, Brianna, all that stuff." She got upset because people wanted to post black squares, and she needs her 2 legs, and then those legs, and those legs, and those legs to keep promoting those dumbass teas and those weight loss milkshakes that cost like $150 per sachet, right? And she needs people to promote that stuff so that way she can make her residual income, right? So she's making 5 to 8% off each person, maybe even more or less, I don't know, who sells these teas and milkshakes, who's a part of her little pyramid. So yeah. So essentially that's kind of what it kind of reminds me of when Tabitha goes off and she tells people, who cares about, all this stuff, like, all this stuff seems crazy, but let's worry about, let's worry about, doing something better, okay? Because my cells are down. And when my cells are down, they're gonna take me off the shelf. So basically she told y'all, niggas get in line. Y'all niggas need to get in order. That's basically what she told y'all. She said niggas need to get in order. If y'all want to actually continue to see me be successful and a successful business owner, niggas get in line. And I hate that that's kind of how I got to put it, but that's just what it is. So let's read this super chat really quickly. Oh, you remember that. Yep, Miss Low Vibrational Plate. That was her. And thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. What's your name? Danny J Baby. Thank you for the super chat. So you said what happened to her? She's still scamming? I don't know what the fuck she's doing. All I know is that she's in a whole new MLM, selling some dumbass products. She's been in MLMs for years. You know what I mean? Like this girl, she's living a lavish life. She's always on cruises and boats and yachts. This girl has the power of charisma. That's what she has, and that's how she's able to sell. She's a good saleswoman, and that's what makes her able to maneuver and rebrand every couple of years. So let me see. Someone said I get my wisdom tooth out tomorrow. Pray for me, y'all. Best of luck. How much do they charge you? I really hope you go overseas to do that because they be charging an arm and a leg for that shit in the States. So let me get into the other topic that a lot of y'all want me to talk about. Let's talk about the Diddy case. So as you guys know, the Diddy trial is obviously still unraveling, and as we all know, it's predicted to last at least 3 months. It could last more, but so far, as far as we know, it's gonna last about 3 months. So this whole shit probably won't wrap until honestly October. So essentially, Diddy's former assistant, they're calling her Mia, is now testifying that she was also sexually assaulted by Diddy. She's saying that she woke up in her bed and she woke up Diddy on top of her. The court system is actually protecting her. So her name is not actually Mia. Mia is just the name and the alias that she's being referred to as she's testifying. So this is another victim who's coming forth and another woman's coming forth. And honestly, as this all unfolds, Diddy's being investigated for the prostitution stuff and the racketeering shit, and then there's the shit with it's a lot, you know what I mean? Even the other situations with the women coming first and that they were sexually assaulted, and if Diddy is tried and goes down, he could probably do life in prison. He might even do 20 years to life. You really just never know how this is all going to turn out. All it depends on is the judge, and all it depends on is the evidence. So everything's just unraveling and unfolding as time goes. And they got a lot of evidence. They got baby oil. They got evidence that he had ketamine, which is ketamine and some other shit. Like I think ketamine is horse tranquilizer. Let me make sure I'm sure because I live in LA, right? Like every time I tell y'all some of these crazy stories I've been going through, y'all always just be like, "Oh my God, Trace, how does this bad stuff happen to you?" Living in Los Angeles does that to you. It's not that living in Los Angeles makes you a negative person. It's just that sometimes you meet a lot of crazy people who seem nice but are usually batshit insane. So ketamine is horse tranquilizer, I believe. Let me make sure. Ketamine, is it horse tranquilizer? Because I knew a guy, my photographer did it. I knew a guy. Let me see. Let me just fact check it just to make sure I'm not wrong. Oh, is it? Is it? The answer is yes, but that only tells part of the story. While ketamine has been used as an anesthesiac for horses, It also plays a vital role for other people. And let me see. Let's see. Okay, so yes, it can be used to tranquilize horses. So essentially, ketamine is horse tranquilizer. And I had a photographer that used to do that kind of shit. And I remember he was telling me about his times tripping, his time smoking, the stuff that he be on. He told me he was on horse tranquilizer, all types of shit. And to be honest with you, that's some deep shit. Like horse tranquilizer is the type of shit that will have you like hallucinating. Like I'm talking about like it'll numb you so bad that it literally just numbs the pain you're going through. And if somebody feels like they have to do some drugs that are hardcore like that, that's a telltale sign that somebody is literally going through some evil spiritual warfare, or they're trying to run away or hide from some shit that they did or got themselves into, or some shit that they're going through. Because ketamine is often taken like this. Let me show you how it's taken. So obviously it's like anesthesiatic. So it's like basically like a numbing. So basically imagine somebody having to inject themselves with horse tranquilizer. The shit that's used to tranquilize horse. If this itty bitty ass fucking needle, right? And it could also be dehydrated into a powder. So if somebody could literally use this itty bitty ass substance, right? Put it in a fucking needle and inject themselves with it in these fucking tubes and tranquilize themselves with it so that way they could like be numb and feel like a numbing euphoric effect. That's telling me that somebody's going through some really dark, deep shit. Y'all ever fucking met? Oh my god, y'all ever dealt with a junkie before? Because I have. It's not fun. Oh, you said you can't see. Let me see. You can't see. Let me try. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. I really wish that I could insert stuff. Right. So these are vials. These are vials of ketamine. Right. Like little tiny little bottles of ketamine. That's the kind of stuff that Diddy was using, and that's the kind of stuff that the feds found in his apartment, not apartment, his home when they were seizing his stuff, right along with tapes, hard drives of recordings of other people that were on it, and so much more. And basically, let me show you some more stuff. Basically it could be found in these little bottles, like these little vials that people just use. I'm sorry. There you go, right there. I just need to focus. And yeah, it gets deep. So somebody's literally extracting that shit out of a bottle and then they put it in their body. And then imagine having to put that into a fucking horse, a big old horse. And then a person puts that in their body. So that's why, I kind of look at and I see these things and I feel like if somebody's insane enough to put that shit in their body, can you imagine the kind of shit that they're running from? Because I remember, I've known a few junkies in my days, right? Like I've never done no hardcore ass fucking like I've never done all that extra shit, right? Like the most I've ever done is I was prescribed Adderall, right? Because of ADHD, like attention deficit disorder. That's what I've been prescribed. Let's see. I did a little bit of codeine. Like I'm not gonna lie, when I was in high school, right? I grew up in Miami. When I was in high school, I did some codeine because remember when it was trendy and it was popular? It was always popular, but basically I remember this girl, I'll never forget her. Her name was Shauna and she was Guyanese. She was cool as fuck. She was she was chill. She was from Guyana. And I'll never forget this. I remember she got prescribed like a big old bottle of like codeine and cough syrup when I was in high school. And I remember the whole school was talking about it. The whole school was like, "Oh my God, Shauna has lean. She has lean." And a lot of us, we're young, like we never had that shit before. We're in high school. We're like in the ninth grade. And I remember she was like literally, she was emptying out bottled waters and she was filling it with like the codeine. Like she was literally putting codeine in the little bottles, and then she was like giving us like a little tiny bit of amount so, in like fucking water bottles, right? Like this amount at the bottom of the water bottle. And then she was charging like $10 each, like $10 per person, $20 per person. And people were dumb enough to actually buy that shit. And that's just the history of growing up in Miami. And oh my God, in Miami, like I'll never forget, like people were selling Zans when I was in high school. People were selling bars when I was in high school. Let's see, people were selling let's see, I knew a girl who was selling she was selling crack, all types of shit. And you think to yourself, how the fuck did nobody ever get caught? As kids, we just thought, oh my God, that's so cool, but it wasn't. Anyways, let me read the super chat really quickly. Nurse here, ketamine can have the other effect where you have horrific nightmares, Nothing to play with. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. So essentially, that's the kind of stuff that Diddy was putting in his body. When you have ketamine in your fucking like system, it's like euphoric. It literally numbs your spirit. Like you're just like everything just feels soft and smooth, and you're just relaxed. Like everything just feels light. Like you basically feel like you could just lift up your whole dinner table and just throw it across the room. You just feel this euphoric feeling, and it just relaxes you. So if you're someone that has a lot of anxiety and you're dealing with a lot of pain and heartbreak and sadness, putting that shit in your system, it numbs you. And sometimes it can be worse if somebody pisses you off. So if you're under the influence of that shit and somebody pisses you off, like how Diddy was always mad at Cassie and he was always trying to like hit her with shit and hover over her, it amplifies that to some degree because you're not thinking about consequences. You're not thinking about the fact that you can hurt somebody. You're thinking about the fact that you are angry and you want to teach somebody a lesson. And you're not thinking about any of the aftermaths of it. So it makes me wonder more and more what else they have on Diddy. I feel like we're going to find out more and more what else they have because, again, Diddy had a lot of, let's see. The fuck? Who the fuck emailing me this shit? What the fuck you want, bitch? Anyways, yeah, so that's ketamine. So I've known some junkies in my days, right? Like I remember I was cool with this one junkie. He was crazy as fuck. Oh my God. Crazy. I'm talking about so crazy that he was the kind of person where he thought everybody was out to get him. Like he thought everybody was out to get him. And that's why I'm telling you, that's why I'm sure Diddy was like a raging evil bastard, right? He was just so fucked up and abusing and taking what he wanted. That kind of stuff turns you into a raging evil monster because that person that I knew that was on drugs, oh my God, this was a long ass time. Oh my God. Okay. Long story short, he literally would do weird shit where like sometimes he would record conversations and like it would even be petty shit. Like he would record himself arguing with people, like even his own mom, mind you, right? Like record his own mom, record his mom, record like people he knew, relatives, him arguing with certain people. And it wasn't like he was trying to record people. Well, sometimes I think looking back, it might have been for blackmail, but he was recording shit because he wanted to be able to make sense of it later, right? Because everybody knew that he had like a substance issue. Like everyone in his childhood, they just knew like he had a substance problem. So when he would record stuff, it was because he wanted to obviously like keep stuff like on the back burner so he could rewatch it. You know what I mean? It was like some weird, fucked up, sick scrapbook. Like I'm talking about, like arguing with his mom, and his mom was saying, "You're a fucking worthless piece of shit," and he would have like recordings of his mom spazzing out, going off on him, whether it be exes, his mom, rather it be like friends he fell out with, and so much more shit. I mean, that's a long story. Like I got the fuck away from that person, but long story short, this people who, and that's why Diddy recorded stuff, right? People don't realize that when you're a tweaker and you're a fucking junkie, you're always recording stuff because people accuse you of lying, or you never know. Like you wake up one day and something's missing and you think everybody took it. So you're just like, I'm gonna put cameras here, I'm gonna put cameras there, I'm gonna put cameras here, cameras there. That's why Diddy recorded everybody. Tweakers do that stuff. So if you ever meet somebody that has a drug addiction or a drug issue, they think everybody's watching, like, oh my God, close these curtains. Oh my God, like, shh, you're too loud, you're too loud. They think everybody's watching them and everybody's listening to them. So when you deal with a tweaker, like how Diddy was a tweaker, doing ketamine, doing GHB, because GHB is another thing, right? I've known somebody else that does GHB. GHB is a popular thing that people do in LA. So I live in Los Angeles, and a lot of people do GHB. And GHB is basically anesthesia, right? Liquid anesthesia. It's a clear liquid that naturally produces in your body, so it can't be detected sometimes in a drug test. So basically, some people literally put little droplets of GHB in their juice. Like they'll put it in their juice, they'll put it in their soda, they drink it, and they're just like, like they basically took a big ass doo-doo, like they're calm. And then it also makes you hallucinate a little bit too. Like if you're an overthinker and you're mixing it with other drugs. So if you're smoking weed and doing mushrooms and popping pills and drinking anesthesia like ketamine or GHB and injecting it in your system, you're gonna hallucinate. You're gonna want to fucking destroy stuff. You're gonna want to burn stuff because you want to be calm. But at the same time, somebody's pissing you off. You're just like, I'm gonna light all this shit on fire. I'm gonna set this whole place on fire. That's why you don't fuck with nobody on drugs. That's why when somebody's prone to always record people, I automatically assume this person's probably a junkie. They're probably a junkie. If you knew someone that was always prone to record people, it was either they were paranoid because they were always up to no good, or their asses were junkies. Let me see. I see y'all having a conversation in the fucking chat. Let me see what y'all are saying. Damn, I'm so glad all I need is a blunt. Yeah, be glad that all you need is a blunt. Be glad that's all you need. My doctor gave me a low dose version to inhale in each nostril. They watch you for like half an hour to see if you have a reaction and let you go. Didn't help much, unfortunately. Damn. Diddy used to get picked on and beat up back in the day. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it's very common and popular. What does the person say? Oh, that makes sense. Let's see. Let's see. Coke is common, but not in my life circle. What the fuck? Yeah, Coke is common. Another thing that's really common to do, I'm gonna be honest with you, is it's common for you to, for like I live in Los Angeles. Like it's common for people to literally be like, "You want some Coke?" Or like, hmm? Like that's pretty common. And when people first come to Los Angeles and they live there, they're just like, ew, like you do that stuff? Ew. No, listen, if you ever watching this, you watching, if you ever come to LA, don't make them feel bad, okay? Like it's bad enough that they gotta do coke because they feel bad about themselves or they're going through shit mentally and their energy's not there, okay? Like somebody's gonna be like, do not, and I repeat, do not make a big deal out of it. Just be like, no, it's okay, I'm good. Or people would be like, do you have any Coke? Like that happened to me. Like I'll leave a party and somebody would be like, do you have any Coke? Or they'll no, no, they'll be like, you have any dope? Like that's a common thing. Like I remember I was walking out of a party once. I was walking right out of a house party, and it was this grown ass Hispanic couple that left the same party I did. And they were like, bro, you got any blow? I'm like, what? Like you got any blow? Huh? And they're like Coke. I'm like, oh no, I don't have any. I don't have it. I'm good. You just dust it off, you laugh it off, and you keep it moving. And when I tell people these kind of stories, they'd be like, oh, like where are you hanging out where they have that kind of stuff? I live in LA. Like this is really common. You know what I mean? Like LA is literally like GTA. If you ever play GTA, that's literally Los Angeles. So when I hear some of this stuff about Diddy doing ketamine and him doing GHB, I'm like, oh yeah, like I know I've known like 3 people who did weird shit like that. That's LA. Like even outside my apartment, that's kind of the reason why. Listen, I love Los Angeles, but it's part of the reason why I might have to leave my area. Like I'll probably still stay in LA for a long time, maybe keep an apartment there, but I gotta leave Los Angeles because listen, my rent is $2,400 a month. And imagine walking out my apartment and then I see hookers, like just hookers just walking around, looking for the ATM, chilling, waving and shit. Like imagine just seeing that. It's just like a real life Grand Theft Auto. So, anyways, yeah. Anyways, back to the whole tweaker conversation. If somebody is prone to record you, listen, record your phone conversations. If someone's prone to literally have like cameras, like I'm talking about everywhere, that's usually like a fucking drug addict. Not everybody, right? Like some people are just naturally paranoid, and that's okay. But there's people who have cameras there because they want to make sure that if they're too high and too doped up, they can make sense of everything, or they can blackmail you if you like take some shit or you do some shit, or if you go off and you go around telling people, oh my god, that person was fucking crazy. They could be like, oh no, I have fucking videos of that person doing this, that, in the third. Like I knew a guy, oh my god, a long ass time ago that was on that shit, and I'm talking about like he had like folders in his phone of like arguments with his ex. Like I'm talking about like, oh my god, TMI. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all some stories. This guy literally had a folder document of his ex girlfriend, right? Like he was smashing this trans girl, and basically they were like always fighting, always arguing and shit. And basically he had like videos and shit of this bitch going like this, like pulling her hair, clawing her face, be like, stop hitting me, stop hitting me. And then she was only doing that because she wanted him to leave. Like she would tell him to get the fuck out of my apartment. I don't want to talk to you. And when he wouldn't leave, she'd be like this. Like she like rip up her hair, punch herself in the face, and he had like a whole bunch of like folders and shit of them arguing, her calling him a fucking tweaker piece of shit, and like you're a worthless piece of shit. That's why you're always fucking homeless. He had folders of that shit. And thank God I got the fuck away from that person, because the minute I realized they were crazy and the minute I got to know them more and more, I realized, yeah, let me get the fuck away from this motherfucker before they fuck around and kill me or some shit. That's a horrible story that I've never even told. And there's more to that. Oh my God. There's more to that story. Yeah, crazy shit. I couldn't afford to pay that much every month. In Los Angeles, that's normal. Like to get a basic ass fucking 1 bedroom apartment, you're gonna pay minimum 1,800 for a 1 bedroom. That's usually the price of a studio. A 1 bedroom in the hood is 1,800. If you want a nice studio, 1,800. If you want a nice 1 bedroom, at least 2,000. At least 2,000. At least. I live in a 2 bedroom, 1 bath with washer and dryer in the downstairs area. It's shared, and then there's a parking garage. That's what I have. I have a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, and I got a parking garage with 2 parking spaces. So I kind of got a good deal. Initially, it was 2,095. Initially, my rent was 2,095, so it was just under 2,100. It just throughout the years it's raised, so now it's 2,400. But yeah, let's see. Why didn't he? Let's see. Why didn't she just call the cops that are beating herself up? Because she was a fucking crazy bitch. Like that drug addict dude that I knew a long ass time ago. He was fucking this trans girl who was just crazy. And like I'm talking about, like she was nuts, and he was nuts too. That's why I got the fuck away from him. Like I'm talking about. This bitch was talking about how she did Santeria on him, and she was like, "Yeah, I did Santeria, so that way Santeria, if y'all don't know, is similar to voodoo, right? It's like the worshiping and working with of saints. You give some offerings to a saint here and there. Like, here, I got a bowl of honey for you, or here, like I got some gold necklaces for you. I got a bowl of grapes. You leave it on the side of your door. You create like a little, like a mural, like a shrine of them with candles, and then you just bring them offerings like every Sunday at 4 p.m. or whatever time you got to give it to them." And she was doing that shit on him so she could punish him and make his life hard. It was a scary ass situation. Oh my God. Scary ass moments in my life. But it was scary because, oh my God, oh my God, I don't want to even speak on that person because I don't want to even manifest even seeing them again. Blackmail is so true. That's why they be doing those rituals, selling souls to have blackmail against people. Yup. I don't mean to laugh, but laugh my ass off. Yup. Just felt like I'm sorry. Someone said the person you're talking about, that sounds like a horror movie. I see, but I can't. I know that's right. Yeah, that bitch was crazy. LA used to be such a vibe now. It's like a pool full of crazy areas with hookers and drunkies. Hasn't LA always been that way? It's just now it's more widespread. Now that's wild. She needs help. She does need help. Bitch was like, I'm telling, like, he had videos, like legit videos of this bitch like acting crazy as fuck. Like I'm talking about like this girl one time. Oh my God, this was a crazy situation. And then, oh my God, it was crazy. Oh my God. And then I remember one time this bitch ended up stabbing him, and then she like ended up getting like a whole knife. And then she wanted him to, she literally was like yelling and going back and forth with him. And she slashed his back, and he had this big ass cut on his back. And then she like slashed his arm. He had like a big ass cut on his arm. Oh my God. I remember him showing me the bruise, and he had like this big ass like this big ass scar on his arm from when she slashed him. And guess what? He still took the bitch back. Scary shit, man. It's a long story. It's a long, long, horrific story. And then this person, and then I ended up, oh my God, this is like my era of like, just like being extra too nice to people that I cared about. This is my era where I was like, yeah, I don't need to be judgmental. It's okay. Like, I'll just let this person live here and like let this person like vent to me and trauma dump on me. It's okay. I don't want to judge. It's okay. I learned the hard way as I got older and as I healed more that I gotta stop letting people trauma dump to a degree where I get too emotionally invested, because then they're going to drag me into their shit, and I don't want to be dragged into their shit. That's a crazy story. Sorry. Somebody said whooping your own ass is crazy. Oh my God. I wish I could show y'all that video. She was like bruising herself up and saying like doing this, all that stuff. They say you gotta be fucking deranged if you gotta fucking pull your fucking hair, like like claw yourself and slap yourself because you're man. I don't know. Does this look better? I'm sorry. Give me a second. I'm trying to find the chats. Let me see. Give me a second. Fuck. Okay. Hold on, I'm sorry. I don't see y'all comments. I'm on my phone right now. I don't. I'm on my. I'm trying to see my fucking shit. Okay. Oh, you see me. Okay, you see me. I'm so sorry, y'all. All who have been issues with streams this week. We thought Diddy. We thought. Oh my God. We thought Diddy. Let's see. Diddy. We thought Diddy oiled up your router or some shit choice for real. Honestly, I'm so sorry. Okay. Um, I'm not happy about this. Right now, my laptop is charging, so I'm gonna try my best to like make the most of this. Let's see. Oh fuck. Hold on, give me a second. Let's see, it's almost 600 people up in here. Ooh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna try my best to like get back on topic. I don't want to be distracted. I want to get right to the point. Let me just get some better lighting because the lighting here is not that good. Okay. So I'm gonna just get straight to the point. So yeah. What was I saying again? Oh yeah, the bitch was like, oh my god, it was a disaster. That was a scary moment. Scary moment. But I don't even know where I was going with this. Where I was going with this is Diddy. Yeah, Diddy, ketamine, GHB, stuff like that is horrific. And if someone feels that they have to do some shit like that, they're definitely running away from some dark demons. You know, every time I look back at Diddy, you know, doing all those horrific things to himself and putting all those drugs in his body and having cameras all in his house, the first thing I think to myself is, what the fuck have you done in your past life to where you feel like you got to do all those drugs? It's deeper than just I just want to get high and be a freak. It's more so like I want to numb myself and run away from all my problems. What problems did he have? What kind of fucked up shit did he get himself involved in to where he felt like he had to do that kind of stuff in order to be happy? Oh, and also, can y'all like this live stream? I'm not gonna lie, I'm so embarrassed and irritated that my fucking what happened was my laptop ended up dying. So because my laptop died, that's why I can't even get on my fucking stream like I wanted to before. So give me a second. Hold on. Right? I'm sorry. I'm just trying my best to like be interactive. So basically, okay. I was talking about the diddler, right? Okay. Diddy was like on some like really weird fuck shit to do those kind of drugs. But what I also want to get on here and talk about is the assistant Mia. So the assistant Mia, she's been testifying. I'm not gonna lie, piecing me is a little bit sketched out that she wants to be private. So she wants to be private, and people are identifying her as Mia, and no one really knows what she looks like unless you're physically in the courtroom. Nobody knows what she looks like because, of course, she's obviously in fear for her safety and her sanity. Which makes a lot of more sense why the Diddy trial isn't televised. Because I kind of was upset when I found out the Diddy trial wasn't televised. Because I kind of wish it was like the Leonardo DiCaprio situation where, you know, we could see everything, we could view everything as a high profile case. But everything's always up to the judge. And I think the reason why we can't physically see everything is because I think a lot of witnesses are fearful for their safety and their lives. I think there's some witnesses that saw some shit, that did some shit, and they only agreed to testify if their faces were not shown. So I think that Diddy's gonna go down. Like, a piece of me was just like, nah, maybe he'll get away with this shit. Because even though he's done some really sketchy shit and he's made it very clear that he's a sketchy businessman, fucked over some very talented people and took their music and drained their legacy and then kept their publishing and then gave away the scraps of it when he was ready to rebrand and start a new chapter. A piece of me looks at that and I think to myself, he's gonna go down. He's accumulated too much karmic debt for him not to go down. So Diddy's definitely done. And oh my God, we're already an hour on here. Let me just say that when it comes down to the Diddy situation and the freak offs, stuff like that, I'm gonna be honest with you, doesn't just happen by just by one black man who's from New York State. Like, I'm telling you, there had to be like a plethora of people that were involved in the freak offs. I feel like there's a plethora of people that were involved with like setting these shits up. Not just his assistant, his team, but it got to be something deeper. Because I think to myself, who the fuck introduced Diddy to this kind of stuff? Because come on now, like he's fucking taking horse tranquilizer and drinking liquid anesthesia and putting it in his body. Who put him onto that kind of stuff? I'll never forget what Ray J said when Ray J said a lot of these big name elites that he was mentoring under, they're the ones that introduced him to that chaotic, fucked up ass lifestyle. But that's not an excuse because again, he did what he did, and of course, he was over here like hovering over Cassie, beating her with objects, snatching her up in public, punching her in the face in front of people. I look at that kind of stuff and I think to myself, why haven't we heard any corporate elites get dragged into the Diddy trial? Why is it just Diddy? You know what I mean? Like, who else is on those tapes? Who else is on those tapes to where they're trying to protect whoever the fuck? There's something deeper going on. Let me read some of y'all comments. I'm really sorry, like it's just not the same. Ooh, there we go. Yeah. There's so many people getting away with this. I'm sorry, y'all. Like right now, this has to kind of like be the thing until my fucking like laptop like revives itself. This got to be the thing. Like we got to do this shit Android style, and I'm not even using an Android, but I hate the quality. My laptop literally just fucking died. My laptop fucking died. But anyways, so when it comes down to what's next and what I think is next for Diddy, honestly, I'm really surprised he got the Danity Kane people, like that girl group he used to manage testifying. What I think is next for Diddy is, honestly, I think they're gonna drag his kids into this shit soon. Like I feel like they're gonna drag his mom into it or some shit. Because I feel like it's not gonna be over until it's over. I feel like they're saving the best for last. So I'm ready to see what's in store for all that shit. But what I also wanted to get on here and talk about is the state of my mindset being in the US. So people keep asking me, obviously, like, where am I at? Because I'm always doing something, I'm always somewhere. Right now, I'm in Colombia. And I'm in Colombia right now because, to be honest with you, I just sometimes need a global reset. So people oftentimes see the fact that I'm like going to different countries and I'm always here and always there. A piece of me kind of feels like I'm always out the country and going to different cities is because what do most people do when they're always going out of town? They're usually trying to regroup and recuperate. I honestly am just sick and tired of living in a city like, Los Angeles where it's ridiculously expensive and then being in America where medical expenses are expensive. And no matter what, never really feel like I could fully enjoy my money unless I'm in a different country where I'm paying like 12 cents for like a papaya. I went into a fucking Erewhon in a grocery store, and they say, what they're selling one organic tomato for? Like $5, $6. And I go to other countries and I can get a whole sack of that shit for like $2. So honestly, I kind of just realized I'm just at a point beyond just leaving America that I'm just probably honestly I don't want to do shit in this fucking country. I don't want to date in this country. I don't want to fucking build a home in this country. Because I talked about this in one of my other live streams, and I kind of want to get to the point and just be realistic. If I built a home, the one thing that kind of scares me about America is I'll never ever truly fully own it. You know what I mean? In America, if you don't pay the fucking property taxes, they're taking your shit. Oh my god, that shit is horrific. But then if I go to other places, I can get the land for really cheap. Like for example, like when I told you guys I wanted to go to Africa. First of all, can you believe that you can get a big ass, spacious ass, beautiful apartment for like $60,000 in one of the big cities in Morocco or in Egypt? I see stuff like that and I think to myself, damn. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to like own a fucking home, but who the fuck am I gonna invite? I don't fucking fuck with a lot of people. I don't even like invite people in my own home. You know what I mean? Like if y'all think about it, a lot of us kind of want a house, right? Like for stamp of approval. Like we want a house one day, and many of us want the idea or the aesthetic of owning a home. But what good is it is if you barely have guests in the first place? You know what I mean? Like some of y'all have roommates, or some of y'all obviously have your own apartments or you live with your husband or kids or whoever, right? What good is it if you don't even invite anybody over? Like, yeah, it's cool to have like a big ass front yard and this and that, But stuff like that is fun if you have like a big old Medea family reunion type of family or a big Brady Bunch kind of family. I don't have all that shit. I don't want nobody in my fucking house with their fucking dirty ass shoes and walking around in my house. Like, I'd be really sad. Like, I hate having a mop because people are all walking around and, sometimes you invite people over, they don't bring any like souvenirs or appetizers or they don't bring a bottle of liquor. I hate that. So I kind of think to myself, what would I want a home for? Who am I going to invite? Who's going to come over? I mean, some of y'all who have big families that y'all are close with, do you want a house so that way you can invite your whole family over? Let me read this. Let me read some of these chats because, I hate that. Let me see. Oh, someone said people be stealing too. Let me put this on the stage. I'm really sorry again for those of y'all who are just coming in who are seeing me like record like this. It's because my laptop died. So if you're just coming in here and you see that my laptop died, yeah, my laptop died. I'm also going to re-edit this live so that when the live does go up, I'm going to definitely edit the part where it went black and I had to like switch to my phone because I'm a little bit frustrated by that. But anyways, so let's see. Let's see. This person said. Let's see. It shouldn't cost too much to live here. People don't hang out as much or commit to anyone anymore. People don't help anyone anymore and are individualistic. The economy of society has isolated and broke us down. 100%. So it's kind of like, what the fuck I want a house for? You know what I mean? Like I go on TikTok and people are saying, "Oh, I'm never gonna buy a house." Do you even invite anybody over? Do you have anybody come over? So it's kind of just like, look, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Listen, I know a lot of y'all watching this probably don't have passports or probably do. Please get a fucking passport. And when you get a passport, don't be no fucking stupid tourist. Like, actually go to different countries that you've always been infatuated by. And please, in my opinion, right, you don't have to listen to me. Get a passport, please. And again, traveling's not expensive, right? Because I'll always talk about traveling, how I encourage people to travel. And people be like, but that's expensive. Traveling's not that expensive. Like, the only thing that's expensive is the plane ticket, right? Like, if you live in America, you can get a pretty decent plane ticket for like maybe $500 round trip to a decent country, right? You can go to a place in Central America, Latin America. If you live in the UK, you guys have access to so many countries. Oh my God, let me tell you something. Those y'all who live in Europe, you could literally take a fucking train from like fucking France to Germany. Like, what the fuck? Like, y'all could take a fucking train from the UK to France. That's crazy. You know what I mean? And then that train costs like $50 for them. And in America, it's like fucking over $1,000 to go that far, or 800 if you're lucky. But what I'm saying is, when you go to other countries, go with the mindset of what I live here and try to look around. Because a lot of times people will go to other countries and then they'll look around and then they'll go to resorts and they'll stay on resorts and they'll do excursions and touristy shit. And then they go back home and they be like, oh, life, job, PTO. Maybe consider going to a country and thinking to yourself, would I live here? Would I want to buy a home here? Would I want to settle down here? I mean, life seems a lot better here, cheaper here. I could probably get X, Y, and Z for a lot more affordable prices. I could stack up and save in America, and I could probably get a decent sized studio apartment for like maybe $20,000 if I save enough and I work hard enough. Maybe try to go to a different country and see what you like. Because listen, living in a Western country just isn't it anymore. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like a lot of times we think people are so infatuated with the idea of going to Canada or going to America or going to the UK, and then you get older and you work and you hustle and you struggle and shit, and then you think to yourself, damn, I really would love to go to a fucking small, cheap country where nobody knows who the fuck I am and I can start fresh. And that's part of like why I have such an attachment to other countries that I go to. Like when I go to other countries where it's easternized and it's cheaper, I like the aesthetic of where I can just start fresh. No one knows who the fuck I am. They're not used to my face. They're not used to the way I dress. And then I could just enjoy my fucking income. In America, I kind of walk around with the mindset of like, damn, like I can't really enjoy my income like I would want to because I also know I got to pay this and that and taxes and this and that and this and that. And I just don't feel like I could really enjoy my money in America unless I work twice as fucking hard. So that's kind of been my mindset. That's why I put the American flag in the thumbnail, because I just think to myself, I think I'm ready. Let me see. I'm a little confused because if I get a U.S. passport, this person said, if I get a U.S. passport, wouldn't I have to pay universal American taxes if I move out the country? So, oh, as an immigrant. Let me put it this way. Basically, you would still have to pay American taxes for sure. You would still pay American taxes because you're still an American. You got to file every year. You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't have a job or anything, you're going to have to file, right? If you are someone who works remotely, because how you gonna support yourself in another country, right? You gotta obviously file taxes. You're gonna have work remotely, or if you don't work remotely, you're gonna be saving a lot of money. If you save like $5,000, that'll last you like a fucking fortune when you go to Thailand. Like if you save 5K, 5K is nothing in America. If you save 5K and take that shit to Thailand, you could probably survive real good in Thailand with that amount of money. You could find you a nice apartment in Thailand that'll you probably pay like maybe like $600 a month for that shit. And then or you can even do the Airbnb thing, or you can literally stay in a suburb outside the major cities in Thailand and pay maybe 150 for a really good and nice apartment in Thailand. And whatever money you make, you keep it. And yes, you have to pay taxes, obviously, but you're an American citizenship. That passport that you paid for, that passport you got, is opening doors for you to go to all these other countries. Because there's other people who are from other countries and they can't even go to Thailand so easily. They can't even go to Japan so easily. But if you're an American, or if you're from the UK, or from Portugal, or from Spain, or if you're from any country where you're a gringo or a Westerner, you can kind of leverage that passport. Even if you're not a Westerner, right? If you have a passport, leverage it. Do yourself a favor and go on ChatGPT or go on Google and look up what you can do with that passport, or how far your passport can go. And maybe you can go to one of those countries that likes your country and you can build off of that. You know what I mean? Like if you have an Angolan passport, maybe you can go to Nigeria or Kenya and maybe you could start fresh. Maybe your money will go a lot further there. Just utilize passport privilege, because for those of you who have passports, y'all don't understand that passport privilege is real. Like when you have a passport, that shit opens doors. Because a lot of y'all will complain about how fucked up. For example, like if you're going through chemotherapy, if you want your teeth done, if you want veneers, if you want implants, dude, you can get a teeth cleaning for like $28 in fucking Thailand or South Korea, or like $50 in Colombia. Utilize that passport and use it as a resource to open up doors, to unlock doors. That's just my perspective. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even read the person's super chat. Somebody just sent me a super chat. I didn't even fucking read it. Let's see. My bad. Give me a second. I'm trying to read this real quick. Give me a second. I'm trying to read stuff. But yes, utilize that passport privilege and actually try your best to, let's see. Give me a second. Am I frozen? Traveling within Canada is expensive. Toronto to the west is $600. That's fucking crazy. And it shouldn't even be that because we're literally on the same continent. And traveling from Canada, that's fucking crazy. It shouldn't even be frozen. Like, why is it frozen? I'm not frozen. Why does it even cost that much to go to Canada? Like, if I'm in fucking Atlanta or Miami or LA, I shouldn't be paying that much to go to fucking Canada because I'm right there. Meanwhile, people are going to fucking France, Germany, South Africa, Italy, Ireland, from the UK for like under $200. Pardon me, I'm just reading these real quick. Sorry. Yeah, and it's a joke. Choice, you should get an RV for real. That RV life sounds fun, but I don't know. I don't really like driving big ass vehicles. Driving big ass vehicles sounds a little bit overwhelming for me. Cause where am I gonna park it? You know what I mean? Let's see. Canada is, let's see. Sorry about that. I'm trying to read the person's super chat. I'm so sorry I didn't read your super chat for whoever just sent that. I'm really happy that there's still mad people in here, despite, hey, Cecile, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Hope your children are doing well. Love watching your TikToks. Hope you're doing excellent. Thank you for coming through, Cecile. Let's see. Hold on. Sorry about that. Hold on. I'm trying to see what people. Hold on, let's see. Wait, hold on, wait, Jess, hold on, wait, pause. Jess, did you just say, child? I just spent $200 on groceries, and I bet you only got like 9 items or under 20 items. Oh, that's fucking crazy that people are spending that much on groceries. I remember when I was in Morocco, I bought like literally like 35 items for just 30, like $40. $40 got me like 30 items. A whole cart full of shit. So that's why I say utilize that passport privilege and don't just sit in your on your ass and be like, life, America. Listen, find you a nice cheap flight. Stay somewhere for like 2, 3 days. If you have time and you have the energy, and stay in an Airbnb. Like people always say, like, oh, it's so expensive. You think when I go out the country, I'm spending like $10,000? No, I'm just literally find the cheapest thing. Like I find the cheapest flights, and then I'm staying in Airbnbs. Like if you ever go to a country and you're like, oh, it's so expensive, hotels this, hotels that, get an Airbnb, okay? Get an Airbnb in a good area. You can even get an Airbnb in somebody's private apartment. So if somebody lives in an apartment where there's like a doorman, security, you could rent something like that if you care about safety and security, and then just rent out a whole Airbnb for cheap. Like every time I go to a fucking country that seems expensive, I'll just literally look at how much an Airbnb costs, and guess what? It's way cheaper. Way cheaper because somebody's renting their private apartment to me. And then they might even have like a security guard downstairs to where I feel safe. So please, look at Airbnb. There's even cool little Airbnb deals. So if a lot of y'all are looking to like live overseas for a little bit and work remotely, go on Airbnb and there's people literally renting bedrooms in their home. So basically, if somebody's renting a bedroom in their home, you can go on Airbnb and you can find nice bedrooms for rent with like a backyard and everything for $400 a month in certain countries, $300 a month, $800 a month. It's not even, or maybe even studios for that much. If you're like looking for a place to stay overseas, people be like, "Where am I gonna stay? How am I gonna rent an apartment?" Airbnb. That's literally a magical resource that a lot of y'all could be or should be using. Hold on, let me see if my laptop is gonna turn on. Ooh, okay, my laptop's turning on. Okay, the shit quality's about to go away. And first of all, oh my god, I just want to fucking just want to hug all of y'all. I'm so fucking happy that a lot of y'all are still in this fucking shit. If you're still in this live, please be sure to give me a like. I'm gonna go right back on my laptop. My laptop is literally turning on right now. I'm gonna go right back on my laptop. I'm sorry, I just had to go on my phone really quickly because But yes, use that passport privilege. What the fuck a lot of y'all doing just sitting up here with no passports? Get one. You know what I mean? Like if you're an American, please get one. Like a lot of y'all will be like, oh, but it's just listen, do you believe in manifestation? Because every time somebody tells me that they don't have a passport, I just be like, do you believe in manifestation? Because a lot of people don't want to get passports because in their head they see it as when they're ever gonna have time to travel. You literally going out of your way is like setting the fucking foundation. Hold on.